Ravi was working late again. The rain was heavy outside, hammering the tin roof of his small garage in the village. He wiped the grease off his hands and looked at the old tractor he was fixing. It belonged to a farmer who needed it early in the morning. Ravi was used to long nights and hard work. He was a simple mechanic, not rich, not famous, just a man trying to earn his living. The wind howled through the trees. Thunder cracked across the sky. As Ravi picked up his wrench, he suddenly froze. A sound cut through the storm. It was faint, but clear, a scream. It came from the direction of the old barn near the highway. At first he thought he was imagining it, but then it came again, a sharp, desperate cry for help. Ravi dropped the wrench. The old barn had a bad name in the village. People said it was cursed. Some said a fire had taken place there years ago. Others said it was haunted. Children were warned never to go near it. But Ravi couldn't ignore that scream. Someone was in trouble. He stepped outside, rain hitting his face, and looked toward the dark outline of the barn in the distance. He grabbed his flashlight, slipped on his raincoat, and headed out. As he passed by the tea shop, the old shopkeeper saw him. "Where are you going, Ravi?" the man asked. "I heard something. Someone screaming from the old barn." The shopkeeper's eyes widened. "Don't go there. That place is dangerous. Bad things happen there. Don't get involved." Ravi didn't reply. He couldn't leave someone screaming for help. His boots sank in the wet mud as he made his way across the fields. Lightning flashed above, lighting up the path for a second. The barn stood alone, silent and dark. The wooden door was half open, creaking in the wind. He pushed it gently, stepping inside. The air smelled of old wood and damp hay. He moved the flashlight slowly across the floor. Then he saw something. A shape in the corner. He moved closer, heart pounding. There, lying on the ground, was a girl. She was young, maybe in her early 20s. Her clothes were torn, her face bruised, and her ankle was chained to a metal pole. She looked up as the light hit her face. Fear filled her eyes. "Please," she whispered. "Don't call the police. Please." Ravi was shocked. "Who did this to you?" he asked softly. She shook her head, tears mixing with the rainwater, dripping from the roof. "They'll come back. If they know I'm gone, they'll kill me. And you too." Ravi knelt beside her. He could see she had been through something terrible. She was shivering, weak, and frightened. He looked at the chain. It was locked with a strong padlock. "I'm going to get you out of here," he said. He looked around and found a rusty axe lying in the corner. He used it to break the lock. It took time, and each loud bang made the girl flinch, afraid someone would hear. Finally, the lock broke. Ravi helped her stand, but she could barely walk. He put her arm around his shoulder and helped her out of the barn. The rain was still falling, but she didn't care. She was finally free. As they walked through the wet field, Ravi asked, "What's your name?" She hesitated. "You can call me Rhea." "Rhea," he repeated, nodding. When they reached his garage, he gave her a blanket, some warm water, and food. She ate slowly, eyes always watching the door, as if expecting someone to burst in. Ravi wanted to call the police, but Rhea stopped him. "No," she said firmly. "They're not safe. Some of them work with the people who took me." He didn't understand, but he didn't argue. He could see how scared she was. He just wanted to help. That night, as she lay on an old mattress in the back room, Ravi sat nearby thinking, who was this girl? Why was she chained in an abandoned barn? And who were these people who were hunting her? Just before she fell asleep, Rhea whispered to him, "If they find me, they'll kill you too." Ravi didn't sleep at all that night. Ravi watched the girl sleep on the old mattress in the back room of his garage. Rain still tapped softly on the roof, but the storm had passed. The night was quiet now. Too quiet. He sat with a mug of cold tea, his mind racing. Why was he Z? She chained in that barn? Who would do something so cruel? Morning came slowly. The first light crept through the small windows. Rhea stirred, blinking as if waking from a nightmare. Ravi brought her a glass of water. She thanked him in a soft voice, still afraid, still unsure. "You need to see a doctor," Ravi said carefully. "Your ankle looks swollen." "No hospital," Rhea whispered, shaking her head. "They'll track me. They always do." "Who are they?" he asked again, but she looked away. After a moment of silence, she said, "I can't tell you yet. It's not safe. For you." Ravi sighed. He wanted to help. But every answer led to more questions. He wrapped her ankle with a cloth and gave her one of his sister's old shawls. She was grateful. For a few moments she smiled, just a small smile, but it gave Ravi hope. Later that day, Ravi closed the garage early. He told anyone who asked that he wasn't feeling well. It was a lie, but he had to keep Rhea hidden. Word spread fast in small villages, and secrets didn't last long. That evening, Ravi brought her some food, dal and rice. As they ate, she finally spoke. "I used to live in the city," she said slowly. "In a big house. I had everything, money, guards, even private tutors." Ravi blinked in surprise. "You're rich?" She smiled sadly. "Not anymore. My father was one of the richest men in the country. He built companies, hired politicians, made enemies." Ravi leaned forward. "What happened to him?" "They killed him," she said in a flat voice. "His own men. They wanted power, money. I saw it all. I ran. I've been hiding ever since." Ravi's mouth went dry. This wasn't just a poor girl in trouble. She was someone important, someone hunted. "They'll be looking for you," he said quietly. "They already are. They've been chasing me for months. I trust no one, but you saved me. That's why I'm telling you now." Ravi nodded. "You can stay here for as long as you want." Just then, the garage lights flickered. A black car passed slowly down the village road. Rhea stiffened. "That's them," she whispered. "I recognize that car." Ravi stood quickly and peeked through the window. The car stopped near the tea shop, its windows dark. Two men stepped out, tall, in black coats, faces hard and cold. They looked like strangers to this village. Ravi turned to Rhea. "Hide. Now." She rushed to the storeroom behind the workshop. He covered her with an old tarp and locked the door from the outside. Then he walked back to the garage, pretending to work on a motorcycle. The two men walked in. "Are you the mechanic?" one asked in a sharp voice. "Yes," Ravi said, keeping his face calm. "We're looking for someone," the man said. He pulled out a photo. "Seen her?" Ravi barely glanced at it. It was Rhea. "No," he lied. "Never seen her before." The man stared at him for a moment, eyes like ice. Then he nodded slowly. "If you see her, let us know. She's dangerous." They left a card with a fake company name and walked out. Ravi watched the car until it vanished down the road. When it was safe, he opened the storeroom. Rhea was still hidden under the tarp, shaking. "They were going to take me again, weren't they?" she whispered. "Yes," Ravi said, "but I won't let them. You're safe here." But deep inside, Ravi knew they would come back. And next time, they might not ask politely. That night, Rhea told him more. Her full name was Rhea Kapoor. Her father had discovered illegal dealings inside his company. Before he could go public, they killed him and framed her for the crime. The police were paid. The media was silenced, and she had become the most wanted girl in the country. Not for what she had done, but for what she knew. Ravi stared at her, realizing the danger he was now part of. "You can still walk away," Ria said softly. "You don't have to help me." But Ravi shook his head. "I didn't walk away from the barn. I won't walk away now." Outside, another car passed down the road, its headlights flashing through the dark. They both knew. This was only the beginning. The garage was quiet, but Ravi's heart wasn't. It beat faster with every tick of the clock. Midnight was near, and something felt wrong. He stood by the window watching the road. The moon was hidden behind thick clouds, and the village lay in darkness, except for a few lanterns still glowing far off. Ria slept in the storeroom, curled under a blanket. Her ankle was healing, but she was still weak. She had told Ravi everything, about her father's murder, the powerful men who now wanted her gone, and the files she had hidden somewhere that could expose them all. Ravi couldn't sleep. He kept hearing the same words in his head. "If they find me, they'll kill you too." Suddenly, a sound broke the silence. A soft crunch, like a footstep on gravel. Ravi turned off the garage light and moved silently. He picked up a wrench and crept toward the door. Outside, two shadows moved, near the back of the garage. He stepped out quietly and spotted them. Two men trying to open the storeroom door. One of them had a crowbar. "Hey!" Ravi shouted. The men froze. One turned and ran, but the other charged at Ravi with the crowbar raised. Ravi ducked and swung the wrench, hitting the man's arm. The crowbar dropped with a clang. The man cursed and ran into the darkness. Ravi chased them to the edge of the road, but they disappeared into the trees. He ran back to the storeroom and unlocked the door. Ria was standing, pale and shaking. "They were here, weren't they?" she whispered. Ravi nodded. "They'll try again. We need to move you." "Where?" "I know a place. An old workshop in the hills. No one goes there now. It's quiet. You'll be safer there." Ravi packed some food, bandages, and a small toolkit. He gave Ria a cap and an old coat to hide her face. Before sunrise, they left the village on his old motorbike. The ride was rough and cold, but they didn't stop. By dawn, they reached the workshop. It was dusty and broken down, but it had a roof, a water tank, and a door that locked from the inside. It would do. Ravi cleaned a corner for her to rest. Ria looked around, her eyes tired. "You didn't have to do all this," she said softly. "You think I could forget the girl I pulled out of a barn?" He replied with a small smile. She smiled back, but only for a second. "They'll find me again. They always do. Then we'll be ready next time." They spent the day fixing the place. Ravi repaired the broken door and set up a trap near the entrance, a tripwire that would ring a bell if someone stepped on it. He didn't tell Ria everything, but he had noticed something during the attack. One of the men had a tattoo on his wrist, a symbol. He had seen it once in a news report, connected to a private security firm owned by a corrupt billionaire. These weren't just random thugs, they were professionals. That night, Ria gave Ravi a small USB drive. "This is what they're looking for," she whispered. "My father saved all the files here. Names, numbers, secret deals. If this reaches the right people, everything changes." Ravi held it carefully. "Why trust me with this?" "Because you already saved my life. Twice." Ravi hid the drive inside the fuel tank of an old car behind the workshop. No one would think to look there. Just as they were about to sleep, the tripwire bell rang. They froze. Ravi grabbed the wrench again and pointed Ria to hide behind the old shelves. The door creaked. A shadow moved outside, but then came a voice. "Ravi, It's me, Farouk. It was his friend from the village. Ravi opened the door, still cautious. Farouk stepped in, out of breath. You need to leave this place, he said quickly. Those men came back. They asked about you. One even showed a gun. How do you know where I am? I followed your trail. I figured you were hiding something, or someone. Ravi hesitated. Then he nodded. You're right. Farouk's eyes widened as he saw Rhea step out of hiding. Wait, is that... Yes, Ravi said firmly. And she's in danger. That means I am too. Farouk looked. Between them. Then you both need help. I know someone in the city. A reporter. Honest. Maybe she can take the drive. Tell the world. Rhea stepped forward. Can we trust her? Farouk nodded. If you want to fight back, this is your chance. Outside, another sound echoed in the distance. A motorbike. Far off, but coming closer. Ravi turned to Rhea. Looks like we don't have much time. She nodded. Then let's make this count. As the engine noise grew louder, Ravi looked at the wrench in his hand. He wasn't just a mechanic anymore. He was her protector, and the fight was just beginning. The old workshop burned behind them as Ravi kicked the motorbike into gear. Flames reached for the sky, crackling and roaring like a monster. Rhea held tightly around his waist, her face buried in his back. Farouk clung to the side, gripping, a small bag with the USB drive inside. Just minutes ago, they had been planning to leave quietly. But everything changed when 2 black jeeps arrived at the hill's base. Men with guns, shouting commands, searching the area. Ravi had seen them first. They're here, he had said. Get on the bike. Now. He barely had time to grab. The drive from the hidden car before a firebomb exploded near the workshop's entrance. The heat had nearly knocked them back. Someone wanted to erase every trace. Now they were racing down the rocky path through the forest trail, Ravi dodging trees and deep holes, the tires skidding on wet ground. They're behind us, Farouk yelled, looking back. Rhea turned too. Headlights appeared far behind, bouncing wildly as the jeeps gave chase. We need to split up, Farouk shouted. No, Ravi yelled over the roar of the engine. They'll catch you. But Farouk didn't listen. At the next fork in the path, he jumped off, rolling into the more bushes. I'll lead one away. Go, he shouted. Ravi had no choice. He pressed forward, speeding into the darker part of the forest trail. Branches scratched at their arms and faces. Rhea gasped as they nearly collided with a fallen tree, but Ravi swerved in time. You okay? He shouted. Yes, keep going. They burst out of the forest onto a narrow road leading to the city. Ravi knew this road. It was old, cracked, barely used, but it led straight to where Farouk's reporter friend was waiting. Back in the trees, a gunshot echoed, then another. Ravi's hands tightened on the handlebars. Please be okay, Farouk, he whispered. Behind them, the jeeps were still chasing. One had stopped, probably going after Farouk. The other was gaining fast. We need a way to slow them down, Rhea said. I've got an idea, Ravi replied. He spotted an old cart lying beside the road. Still riding, he pulled the bike next to it, reached out with one hand, and pushed it hard toward the road's center. The cart flipped, blocking the path. The jeep behind swerved sharply and crashed into a tree. But Ravi didn't stop. The city's edge came into view. Tall buildings, streetlights, and finally, people. They entered the city through a back lane, the engine coughing but still alive. Ravi parked behind a closed repair shop and helped Rhea down. We walk from here. They moved quickly through the alleys, avoiding cameras, keeping their heads down. Rhea wore a hoodie now, her face hidden. Ravi led the way with confidence, though his legs ached and his hands were shaking. Finally, they reached a quiet apartment above a bakery. Ravi knocked 3 times, paused, then knocked twice more. A woman opened the door. Short hair, sharp eyes, no fear. "You must be Ravi," she said. "I'm Zara." Ria stepped forward. "I'm the one you're here for." Zara let them in quickly. She locked the door, shut the curtains, and offered them water. "Farouk told me everything," she said. "And if that drive has what he claims, then your enemies are powerful." Ravi gave her the USB. "Please, tell the world what they did to her family." Zara nodded. "I will. But once this is out, they'll come even harder. They'll try to silence all of us." "We're not scared anymore," Ria said, her voice steady. "Let them come." Just then, Zara's phone buzzed. She checked it and looked up with alarm. "They've put a bounty on your heads. Ravi, Ria, your photos are on private security networks across the city. Every hired gun out there will be looking for you now." "So what do we do?" Ravi asked. Zara walked to the window and peeked out. "We make noise. Big noise. I'll leak the files to every major news outlet. But you two need to disappear, for now." She turned to Ravi. "I know someone with fake IDs. A safe house outside the city. Lay low until this explodes." Ria hesitated. "What if they find us again?" Ravi put a hand on her shoulder. "Then they'll wish they hadn't." Zara smiled. "You've come this far. Keep going. You're not just surviving anymore. You're fighting back." Outside, sirens wailed in the distance. The city was waking up to the fire, the gunshots, the hunt. But inside that quiet room, 3 people sat with a single goal: expose the truth, survive the storm, and make them pay. And as the first morning light slipped through the curtain, Ria looked at Ravi. Not with fear this time, but with hope. The poor mechanic who once lived quietly in a village was now part of something much bigger, and the world would soon know his name. The morning was quiet. Too quiet. Ravi woke up on a hard mattress in the safe house. His body ached from the chase, but his mind was sharp. He glanced around the small room. Ria was asleep on a folded blanket, her face calm for the first time in days. Zara entered with her laptop in hand. Her expression was serious. "It's done," she said. Ravi sat up. "You uploaded the files?" Zara nodded. "Every news outlet has it now. The documents, the video clips, the names, they're all out there. This is no longer just your fight." Outside, the world was waking up to chaos. On TV screens, across phones and computer monitors, the truth was spreading. The girl chained in a barn wasn't just anyone. She was Ria Malhotra, daughter of Vikram Malhotra, the businessman who was murdered by his own inner circle to hide a billion-dollar fraud. And Ravi? He was now known as the poor mechanic who risked everything to save her. Social media exploded, with hashtags "Justice for Ria," "Dostar's Mechanic Hero," and "Dostine, Truth Unchained." But there was no time to celebrate. "They won't stop," Ria said, now awake. "They'll try to erase me. Again." Zara agreed. 2 of the names mentioned in the documents are already denying everything. One fled the country last night. We've shaken the hornet's nest. Suddenly the safe house phone rang. Zara answered. "Farouk?" she said. Her eyes widened. "Are you okay?" She listened for a moment, then nodded slowly and ended the call. "He's alive," she told them. "Farouk escaped into the mountains. He says the men who were after him are now looking for you in the city. We need to move again. Fast." Ravi stood up. "Where?" "I have a friend at the local news station," Zara said. "She wants to air a live interview with Ria. No more hiding. If people see her speak, the pressure on her enemies will explode." Ria paused. "You think it's safe?" "No," Zara said honestly. "But it's necessary." They left. the safe house through a hidden basement tunnel that led to a back alley. An old car waited for them. Ravi drove, keeping to narrow streets. His hands were steady, but he scanned every corner, every mirror. "We're being followed," Ria whispered at one point. "I know," Ravi replied. "One bike, 2 men, but they're not police." He took a sharp turn into a market street, weaving through carts and stalls. The men on the bike stayed close, but couldn't keep up in the tight space. "They're gone," Ravi said after a few more turns. But his eyes stayed sharp. At the news station, they entered through a side door. Zara's friend, a bold journalist named Mira, greeted them. "You're brave to come here," she told Ria. "The world wants to hear your voice." Ria sat in the studio chair, lights shining down. The makeup artist tried to cover her bruises, but Ria stopped her. "No," she said. "Let them see what they did." The camera turned on. The countdown began. Mira spoke to the audience. "Today we bring you a story of survival, courage, and truth. Beside me is Ria Malhotra, alive, free, and ready to speak." Ravi watched from the side. His heart pounded. Ria looked into the camera. "I was kidnapped by the same people who killed my father," she began. "They said I was a danger to their secrets. They chained me in a barn, thinking no one would find me, but someone did." She looked at Ravi. "A mechanic, a stranger. He saved me. And now, I'm here to tell you, the truth will not stay buried." The broadcast cut across the country. Phones rang in government offices. Police were forced to act. Arrests began within the hour. One of the men named in the files was caught trying to flee in a private jet, but danger still remained. After the interview, Mira rushed into the room. "You need to leave, now. A black van was seen outside, same plates as the ones from the workshop fire." Ravi grabbed Ria's hand. "Let's go." But it was too late. A loud crash echoed in the hallway. Shouts followed. Armed men were inside. The building. Zara pulled out a small pistol. "Roof! This way!" They raced up the stairs. Ravi kicked open the door to the rooftop. Wind howled as they stepped out. Below, sirens approached. Police cars. A helicopter hovered above. One of the armed men reached the rooftop, raising his gun. Bang! A sniper from the helicopter fired. The man dropped. Police stormed the building. Ravi, Ria, and Zara dropped to their knees, hands raised. An officer ran to them. "You're safe now. You did the right thing." As they were escorted into the police van, Ria looked at Ravi. "We started this in the dark," she said softly. "Now everyone sees the truth." Ravi smiled, tired but proud. "And we're not done yet." Because the final move was still to come, and those who tried to bury Ria's story were about to face the storm they created. The sky over the city was dark and heavy, matching the tension in everyone's hearts. The courtroom was filled with people, reporters, security, and curious citizens. But all eyes were on the girl who once cried for help in a barn, and the poor mechanic who answered. Ravi sat quietly in the back row. He wore the same old shirt, neatly ironed by his neighbor. His hands were folded, but his heart was racing. He had never been to a court before, never stood in a place where people judged the rich and powerful. But today, the truth would speak. At the front of the court, Ria sat beside her lawyer, Zara. She looked calm, but her fingers trembled. Months ago, she was found chained in a dirty barn. Today, she would help put monsters behind bars. The judge entered. "This court is now in session." Everyone stood. Then silence. Zara began. She showed evidence: video files, hidden documents, recordings from Ria's father's company. The names of powerful men echoed through the room: businessmen, ministers, police officers. One by one, Their secrets were exposed. Then, it was Ria's turn. She stood. Her voice was soft, but clear. My name is Ria Malhotra. I was kidnapped by men who wanted my father's wealth. They thought I would die in that barn. But someone found me. A poor man with nothing to gain. He saved my life. Everyone looked at Ravi. He looked down, shy. But this isn't just about me, Ria continued. It's about all the people who are crushed by power and money. It's about truth, justice, and the courage to fight even when you're scared. Gasps filled the room. Suddenly, one of the accused stood up, shouting, Lies! She's lying! The judge banged his gavel. Sit down or you'll be removed. The man sat, red-faced. But everyone saw it. He was afraid. The truth was stronger than his threats. Outside the courtroom, crowds gathered with signs. People cheered Ria and Ravi's names. Justice for Ria! They shouted. Hero mechanic! That night, back at the safe house, Ravi couldn't sleep. Something didn't feel right. Zara came rushing in. Bad news, she said. Arjun Varma has escaped from custody. Ravi stood up fast. He's the one who gave the final order, the one who chained her. Yes, Zara said. And he's dangerous. They called the police. They added extra security. But Ravi knew something deep in his bones. Arjun wasn't running. He was hunting. The next day was the final court hearing. The judge would announce the verdict. Ria would speak one last time. And if Arjun planned something, it would be now. Ravi insisted on driving Ria to the court himself. Zara followed behind in another car with armed police. The streets were quiet. Too quiet. Suddenly, Ravi spotted a black van following them. Hold on, he said. The van sped up and rammed them from behind. Gunshots rang out. Ravi swerved down a narrow street. Stay down, he yelled. More vans came from both sides. It was an ambush. Zara's car blocked one van, and her team fired back. Ravi grabbed Ria's hand. We run! They ran through the back alleys. A gunman chased them, but slipped on the wet ground. Police caught him moments later. Ravi and Ria reached the courtroom through a side entrance, out of breath. You okay? He asked. Ria nodded, shaking. He almost got us. Ravi looked at her. Not today. Inside the courtroom, everything went silent again as they entered. Ria stood, her voice stronger than ever. Even after all this, they tried to stop me again. But truth doesn't break. It survives. And now, it speaks. The judge listened closely. Then finally, he spoke. I have seen the evidence. I have heard the truth. And I have made my decision. He paused. All the accused are guilty. They are sentenced to life in prison. The courtroom erupted in cheers. Reporters rushed out with breaking news. Justice had been served. Later outside the court, Ravi stood beside Ria as people clapped and cried. You did it, he said. No. Ria smiled. We did. She took his hand gently. What now? He asked. Now, she said. You stop calling yourself a poor mechanic. You're the man who changed everything. He looked at her. And you're the girl I'll never forget. They stood together under the open sky. The storm had passed. Their story began in silence, in chains, in fear. It ended with justice, hope, and maybe the start of love.